Hey guys, Scott here, and today I want to talk about why I think even a very good MMR system for DBD would be really bad. And this is part of the reason I've always been so against them implementing a system like this. And I've briefly talked about this, but I want to expand on it a bit more. First, I want to go over that this is just mostly an opinion about what I will experience. I think on average, this change will be neutral. I don't think it'll make things better or worse for anybody, but I know for a fact that the average player probably won't even notice a difference, or they might even notice it being a little bit better. So I want to make this very clear that this video is about why I am scared about it, and I'm scared for other like fellow content creators and stuff like that too, because I think things are going to get very bad for us if they actually succeed on making a very accurate system. So again, this is assuming a world where they nail it. They exactly predict your skill level individually. They account for all these variables, and basically, the higher your MMR, the better you are at the game. There's a direct correlation. So this is assuming they nail it, which I don't think they will, but let's assume that they do. I want to explain why that's so scary. So they said they're going to have individual killer rankings. So in theory, that would account for some of this stuff, but if you think about it, this is what it's like from the survivor side. So if I play Clown, I'm never going to have as high of an MMR as I have with Spirit or Huntress, because those two are just objectively better killers. There's only so much your individual skill as a player can do. You are eventually limited by killer mechanics. That's just how the game is. That's why there's a lot of weak killers in the game. That's just how it is. So I will never have as high of an MMR with Clown as I do with Spirit, for example, which means all the top survivors that get to the highest MMR, like they don't have different ratings. You don't have a different rating from Meg to Dwight or something like that. They're always going to have that same rating, which means they are not even going to see those killers anymore. They're pretty much just only going to see Nurse and Spirit over and over and over until they stop playing the game, if the system works perfectly, because those are the only killers that are going to be able to get to the highest MMR because they have the highest actual potential. And that's a huge problem. On the flip side, if I want to play a killer like, Huntress or Oni, who are happy to be my favorite killers, and Spirit too, I love playing Spirit. I've stopped playing her because everyone hates me when I do. I enjoy playing those killers, and I'm going to get punished for playing those killers because my MMR is going to be higher, which means I'm only going to go against sweat squads over and over again. And I'm talking about the real sweat squads, not, oh, this guy teabagged me and used a flashlight. They're in comms. This is a toxic format. I mean the real tournament squads that you actually rarely go against. Like, I know one of these squads. I can name every player in it. And, I don't dislike them as people. They're boring as shit to go against, but they're all individually exceptionally good players. And pretty much the only way I can even kill two of them is if I'm playing, like, Spirit. I don't play Nurse, so that is not an option for me. And, you would think, oh, well, high MMR, that's what they're looking for. They want to treat it like it's a competitive game. That's perfect. So they'll only go against Spirits to rival their skill levels. But the thing is, I've talked to some of them before. I've seen what they've said, and they fucking hate going against Spirit. They loathe it. So they kind of want it both ways, where they can shit on everyone, but they don't want to go against the things that can actually counter them. On the flip side, as a killer, I don't want to only play Spirit, or, if I played Nurse, I don't only want to play the very few killers that can get there over and over again. So it creates the situation where we're both fucked if we do what we want to do. And that, to me, is not good. Another thing is, like, things like queue times. If you think about it, if you rank up very fast, your queue times are usually a bit worse until everyone catches back up. However, if you have a perfect MMR system and you actually truly have, the top 1% in their own MMR bracket or whatever like that, those players are going to have 20-minute queues because they're just top 1%. There's not that many of them in existence. So they're going to have to wait such a long time. And this is why I say I'm scared for, some of your favorite content creators, because, I'm not saying every content creator is the best player of the game. Just because you stream or, record a video or turn on OBS doesn't make you good at the game. There's just a correlation with people that do that having thousands and thousands of hours, and they tend to be better at the game. I'm not saying just because you record something, you're suddenly a god. If you stream, you're amazing. It's not like that at all. They just tend to have the most experience overall because they stream it, a long time every single day. So they tend to be better. But that's just a correlation. So I'm worried about that group of people. And I know this is like a very like, okay, whatever, that's just 1%. And that's true. Like this is almost a selfish complaint because actually, even if the system is perfect and it accurately depicts skill perfectly, most players won't notice a difference. Most players will be just fine. And like I said, in fact, some of them might actually have a slightly better experience. It's not going to be drastic or anything like that. But, I'm going to be fucked. I'm going to get bored of the game. Probably all your favorite content creators are going to get bored of the game. They're going to get bored of the ridiculous queues. If they're a survivor, they're going to get bored of going against only Nurse and Spirit if they're very good. As a killer, if I want high MMR, I'm only going to be able to play the same killers. And, and then if I do play one of the weaker killers, that means that, those survivors are, the top end survivors are not seeing that because I couldn't possibly get the same MMR for a clown, to a spirit. So basically at the top end, everybody is kind of fucked. Because at the end of the day, the sweaty tournament style gameplay that some people look at is the worst part about this game, in my opinion. This game is just not balanced for that. And you will see that when you only see the same two killers as a survivor if you play like that. It's going to be miserable. And I just think that that's the worst form of this game when people play, do all the gens in 4 minutes. They intentionally let teammates die on hooks just so they can depip the killer on purpose and shit like that. That kind of gameplay is the most boring shit in existence. And if everyone played like that and that's all I experienced, I would have dropped this game a long time ago. And it seems selfish to say because, like a good counter argument is, okay, well, Scott, wow, you're so high and mighty. You're so amazing at the game. Why do you think it's fair that you need to go against players that are less skilled than you? Shouldn't you only go against players that are as skilled as you? And that's a good argument, but I would have to say no. I don't think that's fair because the game is not fair. If the game was perfectly balanced, then I would say, of course, I should only go against people at the same skill level, of course. But the game is not fair at all. Somehow, sometimes for both sides, it's not fair. It's just not a well-balanced game, and because of that, I need at least one weak link in the opposing team to be able to win with the lesser killers. If there are no weak links, unless I'm Spirit or Nurse, I'm almost definitely going to lose. And that is kind of the core of my argument and why I'm so worried about a system like this. It's going to make the high MMR players just have a miserable time. None of these sweat swaths want to only go against Spirit. I don't only want to go against sweat swaths. And that is what it's going to kind of boil down to eventually, if their system works perfectly. Luckily, I don't think it's going to work perfectly. I don't think it's going to be that much more accurate than our current rank system for determining skill. So overall, I think this is not going to be a big deal even for, the higher end players. I think it's going to be just fine. It's definitely not going to be a deal for the majority of players. So I feel like this is somewhat of a selfish video, but I mean, you're watching it on my channel, so I want to give why I'm concerned about it. But that's pretty much it. So even if they nail the system, I'm still concerned because it's just going to lead to this microcosm of sweat that is the most boring part about the game, in my opinion. So yeah, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.